Hello, welcome to the channel Our Day Stories. Sit back and listen to a new story. But don't forget to subscribe and like it.
Elizabeth Johnson sat on a worn-out park bench, her eyes fixed on the bustling city street ahead. The honking of car horns and the hurried footsteps of passers-by echoed through her mind, but she felt detached from it all. Her heart ached, burdened by years of mistreatment and emotional manipulation from her husband and daughter. She yearned for freedom from the suffocating chains that bound her to an existence of servitude. Elizabeth's thoughts drifted back to the beginning, to a time when love and hope colored her world. She had married Russell Haley, a man she believed would be her partner in life, her rock. But as time passed, the facade crumbled, revealing a dark and controlling nature that consumed him. Minerva, their daughter, had learned from her father's ways. She saw her mother's kindness and compassion as weaknesses to exploit. Minerva demanded and expected, using her mother as a mere servant to further her own ambitions. The weight of their oppression had become too heavy for Elizabeth to bear. With each passing day, her spirit wilted, suffocated by the demands placed upon her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Elizabeth made a decision that would change the course of her life. She packed a small bag with a few belongings and left her home, retreating from the clutches of her husband and daughter. Elizabeth sought refuge in the serenity of nature, hoping to find solace within herself. She yearned to rediscover the woman she had lost amidst the chaos of her domestic prison. Elizabeth wandered through dense forests and quiet meadows, her steps guided by intuition and an unquenchable thirst for freedom. With each passing day, the city's influence faded, replaced by the gentle whispers of nature. She reveled in the symphony of birdsong and the caress of the wind against her face. As time passed, the days blending into weeks, Elizabeth's shattered spirit slowly started to heal. The serenity of solitude became her solace, providing respite from the incessant barrage of verbal abuse and degradation. In the stillness, she discovered a newfound freedom, her mind no longer burdened by the weight of constant criticism. With each inhale and exhale, she felt the fragments of her true self coming together, forming a resilient and indomitable core. On a cloudy afternoon, Elizabeth stumbled upon a small cottage nestled within a clearing. Smoke curled from its chimney, hinting at the warmth and camaraderie within. Intrigued, she cautiously approached, her heart both hopeful and wary. The door creaked open, revealing a woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "Welcome," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Ella Flanagan. We've been expecting you." Elizabeth's eyes welled up with tears as she felt an overwhelming sense of acceptance. She grasped Ella's hand tightly, grateful for the opportunity to connect with someone who saw her for who she truly was. Ella led Elizabeth into the cozy cottage, where the air was filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread. The room was adorned with vibrant tapestries and shelves lined with books. It was a place that exuded warmth and belonging. Over cups of herbal tea, Elizabeth shared her painful journey with Ella. She spoke of the years of emotional abuse, of being reduced to a servant within her own home. The weight of her words lifted as Ella listened intently, offering compassion and understanding. The hidden community that Elizabeth had stumbled upon was a sanctuary for those seeking refuge from the turmoil of their lives. Each member had their own story of struggle and resilience, and together they created a haven of support and healing. Days turned into weeks, and Elizabeth found solace in the company of her newfound community. She engaged in meaningful conversations, learning from the diverse experiences of those around her. Her laughter, long stifled, echoed through the woods as she discovered the joy of genuine connection. As she blossomed within the embrace of the community, Elizabeth's confidence began to soar. The love and acceptance she received shattered the doubts that had plagued her for so long. She no longer saw herself as a victim, but as a woman capable of reclaiming her independence. With renewed determination, Elizabeth resolved to return home and confront her past. She yearned to face her husband and daughter, armed with the strength she had gained from her time in the wilderness and the unwavering support of her new family. The moment of Elizabeth's departure arrived, and the community congregated to bid her farewell. Their words carried the weight of unwavering support, intertwining in a harmonious chorus of hope. As she embraced each member, her eyes shimmered with gratitude, silently conveying the depth of her appreciation for their presence in her life. As Elizabeth made her way back to the city, she felt a mix of trepidation and anticipation. She knew the road ahead would be challenging, but she no longer feared the power her husband and daughter held over her. She was determined to reclaim her life and forge her own path. However, fate had a cruel twist in store for Elizabeth on her journey home. A sudden downpour turned the road into a treacherous river, and her car skidded out of control, crashing into a tree. Dazed and injured, Elizabeth found herself trapped inside the wreckage. Fear gripped her heart as the reality of her situation sank in. She was alone, battered and broken, unable to free herself from the wreckage. Desperation washed over her, threatening to drown her newfound resilience. But just as darkness threatened to consume her, a familiar voice cut through the chaos. "Elizabeth, hang on. I'm here to help." Through the haze of pain, Elizabeth recognized the voice as Leon Ellison's. He had been a source of comfort and strength during her time of retreat, and now he appeared as her guardian angel in her moment of need. With an unwavering determination, Leon and a group of passers-by rushed to Elizabeth's aid. They braved the rain and worked together to pry open the wreckage, their collective effort fueled by compassion and the shared understanding of human vulnerability. Released from the twisted wreckage, Elizabeth found solace in the gentle embrace of Leon's arms. His touch was a soothing balm, easing the anguish that enveloped her wounded soul. With the wailing siren in the distance, he clasped her hand firmly, a silent pledge to remain steadfast by her side as she embarked on the path of healing and recovery. Days turned into weeks as Elizabeth lay in a hospital bed, her body healing from the accident. Leon never left her side, his presence a constant reminder that she was not alone in her journey towards reclaiming her independence. During those long hours of recovery, Elizabeth confided in Leon about the darkness that had engulfed her life before their paths had crossed. She shared her fears and doubts, finding solace in his unwavering belief in her strength. Leon listened with empathy, his heart heavy with the weight of Elizabeth's pain. He assured her that she was deserving of love, respect, and freedom. Together, they envisioned a future where she could rise above the shadows of her past. Once Elizabeth was discharged from the hospital, Leon and Ella welcomed her into their home. It became a sanctuary where she could continue her healing journey, surrounded by love, understanding, and a sense of belonging. As Elizabeth settled into her new life, she began the process of reclaiming her independence. With Leon and Ella's guidance, she sought legal aid to protect her rights and ensure that she would no longer be subjected to the manipulation and abuse she had endured. With each step she took towards justice, Elizabeth grew stronger and more empowered. The scars on her body became a testament to her resilience, reminding her of the battles she had fought and the strength she had discovered within herself. News of Elizabeth's struggle and triumph spread through the community she had left behind. Members reached out, offering support and expressing their own experiences of breaking free from oppressive circumstances. Together, they formed a network of survivors, united in their pursuit of justice and healing. In the courtroom, Elizabeth stood tall, her gaze steady as she faced her husband and daughter. The truth spilled from her lips, each word piercing the veil of deceit that had shrouded their lives for far too long. She refused to be silenced any longer. As Elizabeth's voice echoed through the courtroom, the weight of her words reverberated in the hearts of those who listened. Her story became a rallying cry for all who had endured similar abuse, inspiring them to find the courage to speak their own truths. The verdict was announced and justice finally prevailed. Russell Haley, the man who had held Elizabeth captive within the confines of their marriage, was held accountable for his actions. The courtroom erupted in applause, a collective celebration of triumph over tyranny. Minerva, once her mother's captor, sat silently, her face a mask of disbelief and shame. The reality of her complicity in her mother's suffering weighed heavily upon her, and for the first time she began to question her own choices and the path she had chosen. Elizabeth's victory in the courtroom marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. With the support of her community and newfound allies, she embarked on a mission to raise awareness about domestic abuse, empowering others to break free from the chains of oppression. As Elizabeth's story reached the ears of countless individuals, she became a symbol of resilience and empowerment. People from all walks of life reached out to share their own experiences, finding solace and strength in her journey. Elizabeth's journey of healing was far from over, but she was no longer defined by her past. With the support of Leon, Ella, and the community she had found, she continued to grow and flourish, determined to reclaim every aspect of her life. Leon, who had stood by Elizabeth's side through every twist and turn, became her partner and confidant. Their love was built upon a foundation of trust, understanding, and a shared commitment to building a future free from the shadows of their pasts. Together, Elizabeth and Leon embarked on a mission to create a safe haven for survivors of abuse, providing support, resources, and a platform for their voices to be heard. They dedicated their lives to breaking the cycle of violence and fostering healing and empowerment. In the years that followed, Elizabeth's influence continued to grow. Her story became a catalyst for change, leading to legislative reforms, increased support for survivors, and a collective shift in societal attitudes towards domestic abuse. Elizabeth's daughter, Minerva, began a journey of her own. Confronted with the harsh reality of her actions, she sought therapy and counseling, determined to break free from the toxic patterns she had inherited. Through self-reflection and personal growth, Minerva embarked on a path of redemption and reconciliation with her mother. With time, forgiveness became a possibility. Elizabeth, guided by her newfound strength and compassion, opened her heart to the possibility of rebuilding a relationship with her daughter. Their journey towards reconciliation was filled with honest conversations, healing, and a shared commitment to breaking free from the cycle of abuse. Elizabeth's community continued to thrive, offering support, guidance, and a sanctuary for those seeking refuge. Their collective strength and resilience inspired others to create similar spaces of healing and empowerment, forming a network that stretched far beyond their small community. As Elizabeth recovered from her physical injuries, she delved deeper into her own emotional healing. Therapy became a crucial part of her journey, allowing her to process the years of emotional abuse she had endured. With each session, she unearthed buried pain and confronted the deep-seated beliefs that had kept her trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. Leon remained a steadfast presence in Elizabeth's life, offering unwavering support and understanding. Together, they explored new avenues of healing, from meditation and mindfulness practices to creative outlets such as art and writing. Leon's love and patience provided a safe space for Elizabeth to unravel the layers of trauma and rediscover her inner strength. As Elizabeth continued to heal, her passion for advocacy ignited. She realized that her voice had the power to make a difference not only in her own life, but in the lives of countless others who had experienced similar hardships. Elizabeth decided to become a vocal advocate for survivors of domestic abuse, determined to break the silence and raise awareness about this pervasive issue. Elizabeth's story resonated with individuals from all walks of life. Through speaking engagements, media interviews, and social media platforms, she shared her journey of survival, inspiring others to find the courage to break free from their own oppressive situations. Messages of support and gratitude poured in, forming a network of survivors who found solace and strength in Elizabeth's words. Elizabeth's impact reached far beyond her immediate community. She collaborated with organizations dedicated to ending domestic abuse, working tirelessly to promote policy changes, support services, and educational programs. Through her tireless efforts, Elizabeth aimed to create a society where no one had to endure the pain and suffering she had experienced. Meanwhile, Minerva continued her own journey of self-discovery and redemption. Guided by therapy and self-reflection, she confronted the harmful patterns she had learned from her father and embarked on a path of personal growth. Minerva sought to make amends with her mother and repair the fractured relationship that had caused so much pain. Elizabeth, initially skeptical but hopeful, cautiously opened her heart to Minerva's efforts at reconciliation. Through honest conversations and shared experiences, they began to rebuild the foundation of trust that had been shattered. It was a challenging and emotionally charged process, but both mother and daughter were determined to find healing and forgiveness. The journey of reconciliation between Elizabeth and Minerva was a complex one, with moments of progress and setbacks. However, they persevered, recognizing that their shared history carried the potential for growth and transformation. Together, they unraveled the tangled web of pain and resentment, replacing it with empathy and understanding. Elizabeth's community, witnessing the healing between mother and daughter, rallied around them with unwavering support. They became a living testament to the power of forgiveness and the capacity for change. Elizabeth's story continued to inspire others to confront their own familial wounds and strive for reconciliation. Ella Flanagan, Elizabeth's trusted friend and confidant, played a pivotal role in facilitating the healing between Elizabeth and Minerva. With her empathetic guidance, she helped them navigate the complexities of their emotions and bridge the divide that had kept them apart for so long. Ella's presence reminded them that love and understanding could triumph over bitterness and resentment. As the bonds between Elizabeth, Minerva, and their community grew stronger, they embarked on a joint mission to educate others about the signs of domestic abuse and the importance of breaking free from toxic relationships. Together, they conducted workshops, organized awareness campaigns, and provided resources to support survivors on their path to freedom and healing. Elizabeth's advocacy work began to gain significant attention, drawing the interest of influential individuals and organizations committed to eradicating domestic abuse. She received invitations to speak at national conferences, share her story on major media platforms, and collaborate with renowned experts in the field. Elizabeth's voice became a powerful force for change, shining a spotlight on the urgent need for comprehensive support systems and legal protections for survivors. In the midst of her advocacy efforts, Elizabeth never lost sight of the importance of self-care and personal growth. She continued her therapy sessions, engaging in mindfulness practices, and nurturing her creative pursuits. Through journaling, painting, and connecting with nature, she found moments of serenity and self-reflection, replenishing her spirit and fortifying her resilience. Leon stood by Elizabeth's side every step of the way, unwavering in his commitment to support her vision of a world free from domestic abuse. Together, they formed an unbreakable partnership, blending their strengths and passions to make a lasting impact. Leon's calming presence and unwavering belief in Elizabeth's abilities fueled her determination to effect change. As Elizabeth's influence grew, she established the Shadows of Solitude Foundation, an organization dedicated to providing comprehensive support to survivors of domestic abuse. The foundation offered safe housing, counseling services, legal aid, and educational programs aimed at breaking the cycle of violence. Elizabeth's community rallied behind her, contributing their time, resources, and expertise to further the foundation's mission. The Shadows of Solitude Foundation quickly garnered recognition for its innovative approach and commitment to survivor empowerment. It became a beacon of hope, attracting partnerships with corporations, philanthropists, and government agencies. Elizabeth's dream of creating a network of support for survivors began to materialize as the foundation expanded its reach and impact. Elizabeth's unwavering dedication and the collective efforts of the Shadows of Solitude Foundation led to significant systemic changes. The legislation surrounding domestic abuse underwent major revisions, with stricter penalties for perpetrators and improved legal protections for survivors. Government funding for support services increased, ensuring that survivors had access to the resources they needed to rebuild their lives. The impact of Elizabeth's work extended beyond the boundaries of her community and even her country. Her advocacy efforts caught the attention of international organizations and human rights activists who recognized her as a trailblazer in the fight against domestic abuse. Elizabeth was invited to share her expertise and insights on global platforms, amplifying her message and inspiring change on a global scale. The Shadows of Solitude Foundation continued to flourish, expanding its reach and influence. Elizabeth and her team collaborated with like-minded organizations worldwide, fostering a global network of support for survivors. Through conferences, workshops, and strategic partnerships, they shared best practices, exchanged knowledge, and worked together to create a world where domestic abuse had no place.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, write your opinion in the comments.